And before I continue, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in and enjoying the show. Deeply appreciate it. I enjoy you guys' support. And please continue to support me. And please continue to like, subscribe, share, comment my show because it helps a brother out. Because I want to be heard. And I want my show to be heard. So make sure you guys continue to do those things. And the more you do it, the more better I feel. I'm just saying. Now, let's get to the biggest trade that somehow disappeared, that somehow don't even exist anymore. That trade I'm talking about is a trade between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Baltimore Ravens, as we were told that Max Crosby was traded to the Baltimore Ravens for two first round picks. And all of a sudden, yesterday night, the NFL world went crazy because the Baltimore Ravens has backed out of that trade. Yeah, yeah. That was the sentiment of a lot of Baltimore Ravens fans. That was sentiment around the league because they backed out of the trade because Max Crosby, as you guys didn't know, because I didn't know, he had knee surgery. And every trade in the NFL, it always goes through a physical. Well, Max Crosby failed his physical because he had knee surgery. He's rehabbing. He's ahead of schedule, and because of that, the Baltimore Ravens decided to back out of the trade. Now, usually, with a big player, a big time player like Max Crosby, you try to work something out. You go to the Raiders like, hey, my man he's rehabbing, knee messed up. We might have to do some things to this trade. We might have to alter the trade a little bit. Maybe not taking that second first round pick. Maybe you'll take a 3 or 2, or maybe a combination of a 1 or 2 and a 5, or 1, 2 or 4. Either way, you would think the Baltimore Ravens will probably want to renegotiate that trade. Something liking to what they like. Nope. They said they didn't want Max Crosby no more. He is back with the Las Vegas Raiders. Side note here, I have to get used to saying Las Vegas Raiders because a lot of times I do want to say the Oakland Raiders or the Los Angeles Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders going to take some time to get used to, so bear with me. Because if I say Los Angeles or Oakland Raiders, you know where I'm coming from. Even though I know they've been in Oakland for about 3 seasons now, I'm still not used to it. It's still hard for me to concept the fact that the Raiders don't play in Oakland or in Los Angeles, but in Vegas. It takes some time to get used to. I'm not the only one. There are a lot of people out here who still refer to them as the Oakland Raiders or the Los Angeles Raiders. So give your brother some time here. But a lot of teams or a lot of people on social media is going crazy last night because I heard about this. I wanted to do a show yesterday, but I had a headache. But you hear the terms of renege, backed out, scum buckets. The Baltimore Ravens F this up, or the Baltimore Ravens ain't S. You know what I'm saying? Like the Ravens been called every name in the book. So let's get to this article. We're gonna talk about what happened about this trade and why Max Crosby is heading back to Vegas and now with the Oakland Raiders. See, told you. I told you I was gonna say Oakland. I told y'all it was gonna happen. I mean, hey, I know I am. I know how it is. The biggest trade of the 2026 offseason is no more. The Baltimore Ravens have backed out. See? News of the term back out. Other trade to acquire pass rusher Max Crosby, the Las Vegas Raiders announced Tuesday night in a statement. Baltimore's decision to do so was based on medical reasons, NFL Network insider Mike Garafolo reported. The Baltimore Ravens have backed out of the trade agreement for Max Crosby. We will have no further comment this time, the team statement read. The Ravens did not release any statement, citing reports in an article on the team website. The trade, pending a physical, would not have been made official until the start of the new league year today. Crosby rolled out of Las Vegas initially began when the team placed him on injury reserve for the final 2 games of the 2025 season due to a knee injury he had been battling. Crosby was disgruntled by the decision, but he did undergo the offseason procedure to repair a meniscus tear. CJ LeBoy, Crosby's agent, released a statement on social media conveying that the edge rusher is ahead of schedule and he'll be ready in time for the start of the season. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reported Wednesday morning that Crosby returned from Baltimore and is headed back to the Raiders building. Rappaport reported the pass rush is looking and feels great. Football in Vegas and move forward. The Ravens and Raiders had agreed to a trade 2 first-round picks on March 6th. Crosby has already traveled to his new home, but following physical evaluation, he failed. Look, this story is not going to go away. This story is going to take so many twists and turns. We don't know where this is going to end up. All right. So the one thing the Raiders did put out there is that they're going to honor all the contracts they signed, because they spent over $300 million this offseason already on signing free agents to improve their team. So they're going to honor those contracts and welcome back Max Crosby. Now, here is the question. Is Max Crosby going to stay a Las Vegas Raider for this season, or are the Raiders going to attempt to trade him again? Because as reported late last night, there were several teams calling for Max Crosby. Now, one of those teams hasn't called, it probably won't call, would be the Dallas Cowboys, because the Dallas Cowboys trade for Rashan Gary, in which, because of Crosby being traded to Baltimore, that sure up their defensive end issue. Now, not saying that the Cowboys can't revisit and go out and try to make the trade for Crosby, because Crosby contract, he only getting paid $29 million. And right now, that's a reasonable price for a pass rusher in today's NFL. I mean, when you got Aiden Hutchinson, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, they're all making $40+ million. So 29, hey, that's nothing. The real issue is, who are those other teams that call? Now, this morning we seen the Detroit Lions, who restructured Jared Goff's contract, which was $40 million, which now they had $32 million under the salary cap. Are they potentially going to try and go after Max Crosby? Who are the other teams? Could it be the San Francisco 49ers? We know the Niners will pull the lucky rabbit's foot out of their back and make a trade. Could it be the Philadelphia Eagles? Because they wanted Jalen Phillips back. He signed with the Carolina Panthers for 4 years on $20 million. So are they in the running for Max Crosby? Because we know the Eagles, just like the Niners, will always pull out something on their back. And they one of those teams that will give up first-round picks for a player that's caliber of Max Crosby. So that's 3 teams I named right there. Can it be is it the Buffalo Bills? Is it another team in the AFC West? We don't know. Are the Raiders going to keep him? It seems that way. It looks that way, but it might not be that way. So this Max Crosby story is not going to go away no time soon. We don't know what the Raiders going to do, but we do know this. Max Crosby is going to play somewhere in the 2026 season. So we're going to stay tuned for that, and make sure you guys look out for the stories, because it's going to be a lot coming out. Yeah, I mean, right now, Max Crosby's mind, if you ever seen his interviews, you know that his focus is getting ready for the 2026 season, get his knee right, and because he's that type of guy, he is loyal to his team. He is looking forward to playing in Vegas, unless things have changed. Now, we all know Baltimore's getting a lot of flack. We know everybody's criticizing Baltimore, and rightfully so, because they could have worked something out. They could have asked for compensation, or they could have rearranged this deal. Maybe like I said, they gave up 2 first-round picks. Maybe they take one of those picks back, and the Raiders could work something out. But it's not like they didn't know Max Crosby had knee surgery, because I'm quite sure they did their due diligence, and I'm quite sure the Raiders made that known. So for me, they deserve some criticism, but at the same time, this is the Baltimore Ravens and this is the NFL. This is how it works sometimes. This guy feels physical. Oh, we don't want him. Well, he just had knee surgery and he's rehabbing. Yeah, but we don't know if he's going to be well enough to play this season, or more likely, the Baltimore Ravens will probably going to sign him to a bigger contract, to a contract extension. Max Crosby need might be as bad as we think it is, and he might not be able to fulfill the remainder of his contract. We don't know. We don't know what Baltimore was thinking. But I know one thing: Lamar Jackson is not too excited anymore. And don't get me wrong, the Baltimore Ravens, they pivot, because that's everybody's favorite word, pivot, and they end up signing what's my man, Trey Hendrickson out of Cincinnati Bengals for 4 years, $112 million. So they pivot from Crosby to Hendrickson. And if you do the math, it's going to come out to, hey, this dude's going to be making $28 million. He's going to make $1 million less than Max Crosby for this contract. So the Baltimore Ravens got their pass rusher. It just wasn't the guy they initially wanted. It wasn't the guy they traded for. So they pivot, got Trey Hendrickson, Max Crosby back in Vegas. And like I was saying, this story is not going to go away. Everybody's going to keep talking about it. You already know NFL reporters, they're going to dig deep. They're going to find out what truly went wrong. And I'm here for this because I want to see what Vegas is going to do. I want to see what Vegas is going to do. And if you're Max Crosby, you got to think about this. Do you really want to stay in Vegas? Even though the free agent signings they made and the upgrade they did, and they traded Geno Smith to the New York Jets for a draft pick. I think it wasn't even a high draft pick. It was like a 6 or 7 draft pick or condition, whatever it was. So now they set the stage up where they're going to draft Mendoza. The offense is going to be young. They signed Tyler Linderbaum, center. They got some receivers. The Las Vegas Raiders vastly improved this offseason. So if you Max Crosby, do you still want to be traded by the Raiders, or are you willing to roll with this team for another season and see what happens? And remember, you get a year older, the team might be improved, but they're not they might not be playoff ready or Super Bowl ready. That's going to be the $1 million question that Max Crosby is going to answer. Even though he's a loyal guy, that's still going to be the question because he wants to win. And let's say if Max Crosby suffered another injury late in the season and the Raiders out of the playoffs when they send him down, they don't play him, how you going to respond this time? Is he going to feel the same way? And if you're the Raiders, you got to think, he just had knee surgery. He had meniscus. It got repaired. Is Max Crosby going to be the same player? And that's a lot of thinking the Raiders and Max Crosby going to have to do. But again, trade no more. Trade never happened. And the teams who needed pass rushers, Lions, that door has been open. So we're going to see what happens. And with that, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in. And remember, like, share, comment on my show, DSYW Podcast.